We've had a lot of ideas over the years.
Yes.
We've printed our stuff on a lot of things. We've done spatulas. I wanted to do beach balls. You shot that one down.
That.
And then I think we should do T-shirts with my face on it. And then
I'm not wearing that. I'm not wearing it.
Why not?
I have to see your face every day. I also don't want to take it home with me and wear it on a T-shirt.
You could, a night shirt.
No, that's so creepy. No.
So when you're going to bed, it's just like, hey, there's Skip.
There's Skip. Skip's with you 100% of the time. Think about work.
Paragon Marketing Group. And do that. We could put that on the truck. I could letter up the truck with Paragon Marketing Group, my face on it.
No, you know how I feel about that. You have to be a spectacular driver in order to put your logo on a truck.
I am a good driver.
How many businesses I get behind and either they're cutting people off or they're really slow drivers, and I take note and I'm like, I'm never going to do business with you because you're not a good driver. And Skip, I've seen you drive. I'm not saying you're a bad driver, but you're an aggressive driver.
I am not an aggressive driver.
No, you're not putting the logo on your car. We'll lose business.
All right, so okay, that's fine. So, what else can we put my face on? Or we're just not doing that?
Yeah, no, I'm
balloon.
not sure.
Let's get a hot air balloon. And we'll put Paragon and we'll fly it over a summer festival.
It would be kind of cool. I mean, that is a crazy idea. Normally I'd shoot that down, but it would be a little bit cool.
Nate, she's going to let me look into a balloon. That's awesome. But we can't...
All the hot air going to your head.
With that said...
So,
nice.
I guess that leads us into our guest. We're going to meet with Holly Stapleton, who owns a promotional product business in North Lake, Wisconsin.
Yep, so stick around. It's great. Going to be a great episode. Hi, everybody. I'm Skip Ranke.
And Emma Opperman.
And this is the Main Street Marketing Podcast.
A podcast where we discuss everything and anything marketing and business.
And our guest today is Holly Stapleton. She is the owner of Integrity Services, which is a one-stop shop for branded apparel, promotional products, just all around good research on stuff you need for help for your business grow. So
Yes.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right.
Glad to be here.
Cool.
So how did you get into this? What inspired you to help businesses through this avenue?
There was truly no inspiration. It was complete necessity. I was looking for a job that made a little extra grocery money, and by either the original owner retiring, the one other person who worked there moving away, I was the last person left holding the checkbook. And so...
The last in line?
Yeah. So,
Right.
So I just kind of, after being there for, I think at that time it was probably about 20 years or so, working various jobs throughout the business. We restructured a little bit and went from, complete production in-house to just a sales office. And just kind of learned the ropes that way. And then it was either sink or swim. That was it. So
And
far I'm still swimming.
You're still swimming,
Good
baby.
sign.
How long has Integrity been in business, though?
It was originated in 1985.
Okay.
I started in 1990.
So this is an anniversary year.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, big one. It's a big one.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So what is the most rewarding part of your work?
I'd probably have to say that it's just like I get really pumped up and stoked when I see that a customer really likes what we've done for them or we're able to do for them or how we were able to help them. And when I see that somebody is excited about handing out a product, that you feed off of that and it just kind of keeps going and you just you want that to keep going. So that's kind of why I like doing it.
We've had that experience with the bottles and
Frisbees.
Frizzies, yeah.
The Frisbees are pretty awesome. We got some Frisbees they kind of unfold and you throw, and they were we found some the other day and we were throwing around the office.
Spatulas?
Yeah.
Oh, the spatulas.
Yeah.
Which
Those are
That's a gift that keeps on giving.
those are the best spatulas. I will tell you that everybody who's got them has said, "Oh my God, those things are great."
Actually,
They are
last night we
durable.
had a crisis in our house because we couldn't find ours, and it was a problem.
I gave you one for Christmas in your
I
stocking.
need to take it back.
Jeez, all right.
Now, speaking of spatulas, what's the most unusual promotional product you've ever seen or created?
Spatulas. No, I'm just kidding.
I'd have to say, and I think I told the people at BNI this also, that there is a pub called Lynch's Pub in, I don't know if it's West Allis or Wauwatosa, but it's out that way. And they are in a hockey league. So I had to do legit, weight hockey pucks that had the Bars logo on them. And I just thought that was kind of
That's cool.
an interesting little thing I
Oh,
didn't think
so-
I could find, but they were like legit.
They're actual hockey pucks.
Yeah, like
I was thinking coasters. Or something.
no real weight, like
regular-
Oh, wow.
official weighted
That's cool.
that they use in their league or whatever.
I don't think
So,
there's anything you can't find.
I know. Right? Yeah,
You'll make it happen.
I haven't
was
found. I have to say this: I haven't found any foosballs yet.
Yes, you did.
Foosballs?
Yeah. Oh, not foosballs. I was thinking hacky sacks.
Yeah, hacky
Sorry.
sacks I did, but
Different.
not
We did get the hacky
foosballs.
sacks.
Yeah. So
That was
I'm
a-
on the
yeah,
lookout
that was
for
a fun one.
foosballs.
So have you foosballs? Have you ever had a promotional product like fails
Yes.
spectacularly?
Do you want to talk about your spatulas?
That wasn't a fail though.
Oh,
It was one of the best things because everybody who gets them remembers them. That wasn't a fail. That was awesome.
let's see. If something did fail for me, it was due to the fact that it was a rushed order. And that means it doesn't go through the proper vetting processes. So normally what I like to do is, like, if somebody sees something they like, you see a pen you like, I suggest to them, highly suggest to them, let's get a sample in. Take a look at that.
You've
And-
done that numerous times.
And although that's time consuming, you can see one pen from one supplier to another can change dramatically. They can, and they're all about pricing too. It's about, you get what you pay for. That's pretty much it.
Yes.
My business is no different than anybody else's. You get what you pay for.
That's a very good point. And I know you've done that for Kathy. You've done that because she was doing something with you, and then you've done that for us. And but you've also warned everybody, don't make everything last minute,
Right.
because that's when problems happen.
This is why I start telling you guys probably like in February how many Tuesdays there are until Christmas.
Because everybody
In February.
everybody waits till the last minute, present company included.
Well, what happens with Christmas is most everybody wants, we want this for our Christmas party, but then what it ends up being, what they end up meaning is that they want it for, December 7th when their Christmas party is, not December 25th.
Right.
That's a whole 2 to 3 weeks difference,
Well,
so-
people forget about production times and
Yeah.
shipping times and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That all comes into play
So
with
when you
it.
talk about failing, when you going back to your question, when you talk about failing, I think the most fails occur because it's a rushed order for somebody, and we aren't able to go through the proper vetting of the product.
Okay, cool.
No, on the flip side of that, do you have a favorite success story of how these items have helped someone reach their goals?
I do. Okay, so one of our best customers is the Girl Scouts, and they have programs that they run throughout the year. Sometimes what they do is they'll say, okay, if you sell, we'll just take cookies, for example. You sell 1 to 5 boxes of cookies, you get item A. You sell 6
I
to
remember
11
that. That was my
cookies,
favorite
you get,
part of Girl Scouts.
Oh,
you get item B. And it's kind of like an accumulative
Yeah,
type thing.
yeah.
Okay. Well, and they had a Dynamite logo and T-shirt, and it was a T-shirt with a colorful logo that all the girls were screaming about. It was almost like Taylor Swift cool. And well, at that age,
Yeah,
everything's.
yeah.
So, anyways, they had the T-shirt as one of the last. I don't know if it was the last item or one of the last couple items, incentive-wise for accumulation, and everybody wanted that T-shirt, and it just drove sales up incredibly large. So it was a win-win-win situation. Win for them, win for the little girl, and definitely win for us with the amount of T-shirts that we printed
you've
on
been
that.
doing that a lot. For how many years? You've been doing that for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, Girl Scouts. Yeah, we've been doing that since I started. Yeah,
No,
and I started out packing their hacking their incentive program for
Oh,
them
okay.
after they sold their cookies, you know,
Okay.
and then we would deliver them. We were even delivering up in the upper UP
Really?
to the Girl Scout troops up there. Yeah. Yeah.
I know all my girls went through it, and they were experienced it, so that's where it came from. So now I know, and I didn't even know that at that point in time.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. So, but
North
I mean,
Lake, Wisconsin.
yeah, there it is. But that the like any industry, promotional products industries probably how has it evolved over the last 5, 10
Well,
years?
it's definitely gotten more techy. You know, it's
Right.
kind of gone from traditional products like you'd think of, like pens and drinkware and T-shirts, and it's started to add a lot more tech items like power banks and charging cables. And although those types of things are very challenging to get your logo on because of space constrictions. So,
small.
yeah. And what the customer wants, you know, is like this big, but then what they actually can fit on the product might not be as big as they'd like. But yeah, so it's definitely gone more techy that way, which, you know, you got to roll with the flow.
Yeah, right.
Besides the tech, are there any other trends that you see for this year happening?
This year, no. I mean, we do have a new color. Pantone has come out with a new color.
Yep.
It's Mocha Mousse. Kind
That's
of
not
a
what I called it this
brown.
morning.
I know. Kind of a brown.
Wow.
But that's the new color for Pantone for 2025. So you'll probably start seeing that evolve more into the product coloring as well.
What was it called? Mocha Mousse?
Mocha Mousse.
That is a creative name. I do like the name. I'm curious. I haven't seen exactly what that looks like, but
Picture silk brown sheets. That's kind
Okay.
of what it looks like.
I called it poop brown. So, are there any other types of products that you would recommend? Let them say not avoiding. They're not something you should get. Just stay away from.
Well, realistically, I think people should avoid the trendy items, and I only say that because as soon as you decide that you're going to go with a trendy item, the next day it could be out of trend. So you know, we've seen it happen. You know, if you think of the evolution of Coleman to Yeti to Stanley,
Oh, sure.
you know,
Yeah.
and those are kind of costly items. You know, so you got to really kind of think about what your mission is behind the promotional product you're using to promote your brand.
So it's got longevity.
Yeah.
So if you do end up having extras, you can still use them.
Oh yeah, or you know, repurpose them for a
sure.
different meaning. You know.
Which we did because we got a ton of water bottles, and we ended up doing that. And I mean, we've reused a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember why we got those, but they were great for trick or treat. That's
Yeah.
all I remember.
I think we got. Oh, you know what? We got them. We ended up getting them for an event that was canceled, and we were stuck with like 500.
Oh yes.
We're like, oh hell, now what are we gonna do with these? We can't
Those were
drink
the
that much water.
COVID days.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh
but
yeah, it was that a family festival.
Yeah,
yes,
it
yes.
got canceled. But we ended
We
up.
found a purpose.
There were kids walking all over Oconomowoc with water bottles.
And I'll never forget, there was a few kids in particular, you'd hand them a water bottle and they would look, their eyes would get big and they'd turn around, Mom, look what I got.
Yeah.
I got my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And it was filled with candy.
Yeah, but they didn't know that. They were excited about the water bottle.
That's right. Awesome.
Now, are there any other pieces of advice that you would give a small business that's looking at promotional products for the very first time?
I think that probably my best piece of advice would be don't always go price point. Try to go with what either your mission is or what your belief is or whatever it is you're trying to have your audience associate with that product and your brand. So don't always go on the cheap. You know, I mean, sometimes you can get some really good bang for your buck on cheap. Like, let me talk to you about, air fresheners, car air fresheners. There's a whole gazillion different things you could probably promote by just using a car air freshener. And they could be less than, $1 a piece.
Well, I think a lot of that goes along with, too, is like, where are people going to see your brand on a consistent basis so you remain top of mind?
Yeah.
A car, you spend a lot of time in your car, and if somebody has it and they see your logo.
Yeah. Another good
there's-
example of that would be your cell phone. To have one of those cell phone wallets on the back of your
sure.
OtterBox or something, outstanding. Because who do you know now that isn't walking around like this?
That's a really good point.
You know?
No, that's a really good point.
So-
So really thinking into it, and like I always say, think about the longevity of the item. Think about how many people are going to see it. Makes a huge difference. Well, you always want to remain top of mind, and that's one way to do it.
Right.
Right. So are there any other industries or businesses that could benefit from promotional products more than others? Or is it really
Yeah,
any?
I mean, I think anybody can benefit from a promotional product if the thought is put into it and it's not done on a rush deal, you know, or like a last minute, I need something for a parade or something
Right,
like
right.
that or whatever. But I think one of the best industries that utilize promotional products are the nonprofit organizations.
Yeah.
There's a whole different bunch of things that those people can do with like T-shirt, like for their volunteers, you know. So they get their volunteers a T-shirt, and that might make other people want to volunteer because they want a T-shirt or whatever. You know, it puts the name out there. It's on the T-shirt. You could have maybe something about the mission, so then your mission gets out there.
But the not-for-profits is really the cool part about that program is they get whatever they're selling, they get a portion of those proceeds back, right? Is that how
Well,
it works?
Yeah, well, see, yes, but I think you get you could give out your promotional item as a donor appreciation.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You know, so people might like the fact that you're getting that. You know, hey, look,
So
I'm
it's
getting
not
this.
necessarily always a fundraiser for
No,
not-for-profits.
no,
that way,
but
too.
the fundraising aspect kind of comes in on the back door by saying, you know, I could sell these products also at the event to generate extra, you know, cash value for the brand
Right.
Yeah, that's really
to be
creative.
reinvested in, you know.
Yeah, that is.
I like that.
I know, me too.
Yeah, that's creative. I like the air fresheners. Are there other creative ways for businesses to use these products to stand out?
Oh boy, you know, I mean, there's so many things that you could think of, maybe different ways. Like we're talking about reusing the spatula. Either it's for cooking, or maybe it's for a quick fix, or the air freshener. You know, like, don't let your previous accountant stink it up. You know, whatever. I don't know, something you have to. It's just a matter of
messaging that goes with
brainstorming
it.
and coming up with the message that's going to go along with the product.
Well, and you had that one product you brought in, I think, when was that? It was like latter part of last year. Wasn't it like it was a flash drive or something it was a book that you opened up or something? You could put a video on it?
Oh, yeah, like a card. It was almost like a card that you opened it up, and then it had like a little video.
The video screen.
That ran of your business or whatever, which was something totally new and innovative. And I really haven't seen many of those
But
done.
it's unique and you stand out.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah.
differentiation. They were not cheap.
Yeah.
But if you were looking at doing something on a targeted basis, it would make you stand out, and you were memorable with that.
A real quick way for any business to like try to do something unusual, maybe that's, you know, outside of the pens and the T-shirts and what have you. Check out to see what national day it is, or pick out a national day that might align with your values or your mission or your product. And then, you know, run with that. It might be in April or May or September, October, you know, August, whatever. And then kind of build from there, you know. So.
Yeah. Be creative.
Right. So much good information about
I know.
how it's a part really of your overall strategy. Just one piece that goes into making businesses successful.
Just scratching the surface
love
with it,
it.
because she's got all kinds of stuff she can look at.
35 years of
35 years and just
stories I can tell you.
But the other thing about it is the one thing I like about everything with that is when you work with somebody like yourself, you will ask questions to get people thinking, and then you come up with all these different types of ideas, and it's not just one idea, it's a whole plethora of things that people can choose from, and you kind of lead people down the path. It's not just saying, well, here's a catalog, look it up. You do the research on it for people, and that really helps out a lot.
One thing I forgot to tell you was that with the T-shirts, I did a little research and found out that there actually was a study done on T-shirts saying that a promotional T-shirt on average is kept for 14 months, and throughout that 14 months, the generated hits or sites of that logo or that T-shirt are approximately 3,400. So 3,400 times in a 14-month period. People are going to see your brand.
Wow.
So I mean, that's one of the most affordable ways to We had one company from a Commonwealth here. One company, all they did for marketing was buy T-shirts, and they just like went like that with T-shirts to everybody for everything. Any trade shows they went to, parades they went to, meetings, whatever. You know, so they did mailings. They sent out a mailing with their brochure and whatever with a T-shirt, just a general extra large or whatever. Boom, out it went.
It's really
Is
good.
that making you feel better about sponsoring the .Hounds t-shirts?
I
Think
did.
about that.
It was a lot of T-shirts.
That's a lot of t-shirts.
But now I started thinking about how many T-shirts that was.
And each one has a lifespan of 14 months.
And we've heard from
Oh,
different
yeah.
people that we don't know in the community that are like, oh, hey, I've seen that logo before.
Yeah, it was on the T-shirt. So
Yeah.
okay. Oh,
Nice.
all right.
Well, I have some rapid fire questions for you. If you don't know the answer, you can pass. But you're knowledgeable. I think you got this.
None shall
I'm gonna
pass.
try blind.
What is the worst advice you've ever gotten in business?
It was probably from myself. Just say like don't follow your gut. Try this anyways. Wasn't a really a good idea.
What's a common myth about promotional products?
That they're all junk or cheap junk. They're not.
That's
A lot of times the cheap junk ends up being a rush impulse purchase.
I believe
Good
that.
point.
Do you have a favorite promotional product?
Oh, yeah.
The T-shirt.
The t-shirt.
T-shirts are go-to.
What is something new you've learned recently? I feel like you're always coming up with new products that you're always sharing. Skip always comes back to the office after he meets
New
with
ideas.
you, and he's always telling us about new ideas.
Well, believe it or not, there's something new that I learned that I'm pretty proud of myself for, actually, is that I probably don't even want to print this. It's okay to say no. That's just something new I've
No,
learned.
that's true.
You know how many people haven't learned that?
Hey, I didn't
The
until
one on your left doesn't say no a lot of times either. So
and I am so serious when I say just recently learned this, because I came from a mentality of I go to work, do my work, leave work, my work is done and leave work, okay? And then all of a sudden I'm put into this management role where your desk is never empty, and then I don't know if I'm going to make it. I've never been in any kind of management role outside of, my family checkbook. And so it was just scary or whatever, and I'm just like, I just don't know. And then I'm trying to take everything. I'm trying to take all these jobs, and then some of them were just like nightmares. And finally I said, you know what? It's okay to say no. No, I think I'm going to beg off on this one, but I'll tell you where to go. And then I send them on their way to somebody they think could help them better.
and that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, when the day is done, people do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, I think you have alluded to this in some of your other answers, but in case it's different, tell me an unpopular opinion or a hill you're willing to die on.
Well, that would have to do with my name, my company name, Integrity Services. So it's integrity. Basically, just doing the right thing even when no one's watching. It's kind of a hard road to toe sometimes, because you want to slip around the corners sometimes. I'm not going to say that I hold that I've done it all the time,
Right.
but I try to live by that motto, and that's what I think has at least gotten me good word of mouth from the customers that I do have.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that you've read, a book, a business book, anything you've listened to recently, anything that you want to share that you recommend that someone in business takes a look at? I know you're a busy person, so
I
I'm
am
not
a
sure.
two-person show. I have no time to read anything unless it's read to me over the radio between here and there.
There you go. I love
So
it.
she's an audiobook person.
So if listeners could take one thing away from this episode, what is that one thing you want them to remember?
Plan ahead, because rushes equal mistakes.
Words to live by in anything. Doesn't matter. Every faction of business, you have to plan ahead. So that's a really good point.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great way for us to wrap up this interview.
Yes,
Plan
ahead. Thanks, Holly.
Thank you.
I learned a lot.
Yes.
And
that was
we
interesting.
talk about promotional products with clients, and we talk about it with ourselves, and with other people. But I didn't even put together the T-shirt number.
Yeah, and think about that.
Yeah,
That's
when you-
just one T-shirt. Like, think about how many they probably have in that
Yeah.
order.
Well, you think about your jackets, you think about your hats.
Well, I always
mean,
think
it's a
a good
lot.
example is like the Thrivent shirts. I mean, I have Thrivent shirts from 5-6 years ago. That's probably the one branded T-shirt that I keep. And you go out in the community and you see someone with that, and it always sparks a discussion of, what project did you work on?
Oh, yeah. I never really thought about that, but that really does.
Yeah. The other thing I thought was cool was the air fresheners. I would never have thought about that. But if you think about it, people are in their car every day.
Yeah, and the one thing I know that she does a lot with is those football schedules and baseball schedules where you can get the self-adhesive little strip and you put your business card on it. It's such a cost-effective way to have that given out to clients, prospective clients, whatever, and you slap it on a refrigerator. It's there for the duration of a season. So I know if during football season I go and I look and, you know, if I don't have it on my phone, but if I'm at the refrigerator, I go, oh, that game is here today, or there's that person's face. You know, so that's another little tool. But there's so many different. I mean, she has so many different things available to her, like for like the not-for-profit. She can do the programs for like selling popcorn, or you know, or if you're gonna deliver food. She's just got so much stuff at her disposal.
Yeah, I feel like the sky is really the limit when it comes to putting your logo on promotional products.
But again, taking your time to plan it out though, because you try to rush something.
Right. And how it relates to your business. Like, you can't go put your logo on anything. Like she said, you got to think about your mission and who you are and what makes sense to do.
Kind of like putting your logo on a hot air balloon.
Nah, it makes sense for us.
It does, yeah. We'll do it. We'll put it on there.
Okay.
We'll fly her name behind the plane. But we'll talk to her about that. Maybe she can figure it out.
Yeah, there we go.
The Main Street Marketing Podcast is hosted by yours truly, Skip Ranke.
And Emma Aberman.
And you can find the Main Street Marketing Podcast on all your major places you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, everywhere you can get them.
You can also watch our full episodes on youtube.com/@Paragon Marketing Group.
Thanks.